Hey guys, it's host and creator Will Farrell here. When the fourth quarter buzzer sounds, you turn to us for your fifth quarter sports talk. Good evening here on this late Saturday night, bringing you this emergency Chicago Cubs Facebook Live as the Chicago Cubs run in the postseason. Their season has officially ended tonight, just moments ago in Milwaukee, where the Milwaukee Brewers are heading to the National League Championship Series to face the reigning champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, keep this in mind for the playoffs. Seattle Mariners, they're moving on to the ALCS. The Brewers and the Mariners have one thing in common. They have each never won a World Series in their franchise history. So, it's good news for baseball. But back to the Cubs here. It's just credit to the Cubs. They played a really good season. They had an amazing first half, one that fans will never forget from this year. And they showed some good play in the second half as well. Went through some injury struggles on the pitching staff. Cade Horton was a big loss, I think, this series they had with the Padres. And then just recently finishing here tonight, the Brewers in the NL Division Series between the Cubs and Milwaukee. I think it would have been a lot different in a positive way for the Cubs had Cade Horton still been healthy. Now, of course, those are what-ifs, but that's just something to consider in baseball terms. You know, injuries can change and impact the team a lot. And unfortunately, it didn't help the Cubs. Final score from Milwaukee tonight, 3-1 in a elimination game 5. So the Cubs are now headed into the Major League Baseball offseason, where Cub players will have to, recover from tonight. It'll take them some time to sort through for sure, and then they just get back to what they do best in the offseason. Recharge and get to work. So Suzuki continues to be a good power home run hitter for the Cubs. He was their only run tonight. Former White Sox first baseman Andrew Vaughn getting a leading home run for the Brewers, and then just the Brewers pitching got it done. Abner Uribe is a pretty good arm to watch. He took over the closer role when Devin Williams was traded to New York last year, and I think he's a good closer. He's done really good in pressure situations this year for Milwaukee. That Mizorowski kid, what an arm. One of their young pitchers over there in Milwaukee. So a tough loss for the Cubs, but they have a lot of positives to look at from this year and some improvements next year. The big question, will Kyle Tucker resign? I think it's going to be pretty tough to bring him back to Chicago. If I were the Cubs, and a lot of Cub fans won't agree with me on this, but just hear me out here, I think, and we'll talk about it in the offseason as well, do some Cubs coverage on that, like we usually do here on the podcast, maybe try to put something together here soon. I think, they have an Owen Casey Alcantara. If Tucker does come back, that's good, but just be smart. You have players that could come up to fill those roles, really talented players. So just be aware of that. But it's unfortunate to see what happened to the Cubs here. We at Will Score Special congratulate the Cubs on a really good season this year and a pretty good postseason play. I mean, they played this Padres in the wild card real tough and real well. And I was impressed by that as a baseball fan. I'm not a diehard Cubs fan. I'm a White Sox fan, but I still like to watch baseball, and I watched a bit of that series. That was some good classic baseball, defense and pitching, getting it done for the Cubs that helped them move into this division series they just finished in 5 games against the Milwaukee Brewers. But it's just credit to the Brewers. Murphy's a great manager for them. He took over in a really interesting spot. They lost their former player and beloved manager in Craig Counsell. So the Brewers players were motivated this year. You could tell that by the way they played in the postseason. Cubs got games 3 and 4 after the Brewers took the first 2, and then the Brewers knew they had to get it done tonight, and they just got it done. Really good plays, getting the Cubs ground out. Good job of the pitching on that and the later innings as well. So, like I said, unfortunate for the Cubs, but I think they will have an even better season next year, I'm sure. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the offseason, of course. But they definitely need to fix up the starting pitching. Even if you get Horton back, Tyone, you have players, but you need to get it a little more aligned. Figure out what's going to happen in your outfield there. You got Pete Crow at center. What's going to happen in left and right? Haps in left, but what's going to happen in right field, your DH situation. These young players are learning to win in the postseason. That's pretty much what they went through in this postseason. And hopefully that's something they'll take with them into the offseason and make the next year better next spring. So from all of us here at Will Score Special, congratulations to the Chicago Cubs on a good run. I know Ryan Sandberg smiling up there in heaven, saying, hey, guys, just hang your heads up. I'm sure you'll do even better next year. I don't speak for Ryan Sandberg, but I know all the Cub greats are watching those players right now and, knowing when they were players what they are going through, like what the current players are right now after a tough loss in the postseason. So us at Will Score Special want to, like I said, congratulate the Chicago Cubs on a good season, and we wish them a safe and healthy offseason moving forward. When the fourth quarter buzzer sounds, turn to us for your fifth quarter sports talk. This is host and creator Will Farrell saying good night and so long from this emergency Facebook Live here on Will Score Special. Good night, everybody. If you're outside, be safe and stay warm. Take care now.